maybe introduce myself. I normally introduce myself using, yes, the screen will come up. Yes. Can we have it on the other screen as well, please? So I'm Michelle, I work in Ogilvy. If you can tell from my Facebook profile, it's very telling because you can see that I work at Ogilvy and Mesa for a while. I have about 692 friends. That's not a lot. If you look at youngsters nowadays, they have an average of 800 friends on their Facebook. Also, I play the violin, but badly, or trying to. And I've grown up in the good old days of direct mail, when writing personal letters was still a good thing. And then I've seen digital grow up. So I wanted to just share in the next 60 minutes a couple of things which I hope that you all will find useful. The first one is talk to you about some trends, how digital is Singapore today? So show you some statistics and then look at what are the consumers looking at in terms of expecting from brands, from yourselves. And then kind of 3 points to get you started. So can I just say that I think being you is tough. I've watched my husband in a small medium business. Sometimes it seems very glamorous. I have my own shop, but he's the IT manager, he's the finance person, sometimes clean the toilet as well. So I fully understand. There's a lot of respect for you guys in the room. So let's get started. Now, our little red dot is getting a bit crowded. We have over 5 million population. Do you want to dim the lights so that you can see the slides better? Thank you. 100% urban, 77% internet penetration. Compared to any other market in Asia, we have one of the highest internet penetration. Now, across that, 51% are actually using social networks. Social networks meaning Facebook, meaning Twitter, LinkedIn. That's about 2.6 million of users. And from a mobile perspective, we're oversubscribed. I think some of us have more than one mobile phone because there's over plus 100% penetration. Now, let's look at something interesting if you try and compare. So on the left, you will see average hours a Singaporean spend on the internet versus an average hours that a Singaporean watch broadcast TV. Can you guess the percentage? 25 hours spent on the internet versus 12 hours watching broadcast TV. Almost double. Let's look at another one. How about Facebook versus the Straits Times? So, between age 25 to 34, I'm sorry if I missed out the demographic here. 80% versus 34%. So you can reach, if your target audience is within the age 25 to 34, chances are you probably can reach a lot of them via Facebook, as opposed to a Straits Times, I'm sorry, that's PH is in the room, print ad. Okay, now this is an interesting statistic which I picked up this morning, I just inserted here. So in the world, right, say online in 60 seconds, what happens in the online world? So if you look at a couple of things, these are within 60 seconds, you see that there are 2 million searches on Google in 60 seconds. Another interesting one, if you go down to the bottom, if you look at email, there are 204 emails being sent around the world. You've got Twitter, 278,000 tweets. If you look at Facebook, 41,000 posts. In the world that's currently going on. So there's so much of things happening, and I think it might appear slightly daunting as well if you look at all these statistics. We'll later talk about how to approach this in a more logical manner. Now, if we focus on Singapore alone, these are the kind of top weekly online activities that in general people would do. So 96% when they're online will check emails. I don't think anybody can dispute that. So we all check emails from Gmail to Yahoo to our company emails. And then we read the news, whether it's on Straits Times, Asia One side. We use search a lot. We use search for why people do this, where can I buy that. And also we spend a lot of time on social media. I think the young generation spends about every waking hour on social media. You know the stat that what's the first thing that young people do when they sleep? Before they sleep and when they wake up, they should check Facebook. Okay, on to social media. So here are a couple of statistics specific to Singapore. If you look at the main platforms, now the biggest platform, or when you have the number of users, is YouTube. So 3.93 million users with a registered account on YouTube. That's about 76 penetration of Singapore. And then you have Facebook with 3.2 million, about 62%. Twitter, less so. Twitter is the SMS of the internet, so some people still ask me why on earth would I want to use Twitter, like the gentleman sitting in the front row. And you have LinkedIn. LinkedIn is more for businesses, so it's a way of networking, and Pinterest, which is a very recent kind of Instagram-ish type. So I think that will grow though. Now, next up, when people are online, 47% of them actually go online to research your product. If they are looking for a pair of spectacles, shoes, they'll probably go find out what are the brands they can find. 34% of them actually reviewed a brand or a product online. I bought this Clarisonic facial brush. It sucks. Or it doesn't live up to it, too expensive. People talk about these online, whether or not you like it. And then 47% actually purchase a product. So this is an e-commerce. I mean, in the past, we've seen a lot of people, traditionally, e-commerce is very kind of saturated in the travels. You buy travel tickets, you buy hotels, but now it's everything. You almost can buy anything online. I think later we'll talk about some interesting entrepreneurs that we're seeing from the e-commerce space. I found that you can even buy babies' scent online. I don't understand why some people do that. Okay, so that's the kind of backdrop of how digital Singapore is. The next section I really wanted to talk about some of the consumer trends that we're seeing. What are some of our users nowadays? What are they thinking about? What are they expecting from brands? And some good examples from brands all around the world. So it could be very big brands, it could be very small brands. Now the very first trend is this trend which we call Gator Shaped. I think everybody has heard a lot about how data is confusing the world. Every time you're online, you give out so much of data. So how do you use data to actually engage your consumers? I have a video which I'll show, which tells you actually what your consumers are expecting from you. Check the audio. I love technology, that's just new every time. Try something different. That's from IBM, by the way. Did you get that? So nowadays, consumers are asking you, what do you know about me? If I give you my data, do you understand what I want? Can you predict that tomorrow I'm looking to eat sandwich instead of wonton mee? Can you tell me that? Can you suggest something that I should be buying because you know me so well? Oops. Okay, we're examples from around the world of how companies are using data. One data that's freely available is GPS data. This one is from Macy's. Anybody been to the US and been to huge shopping center, Macy's? You get lost in there. So they thought, let's use the data and use GPS data to help shoppers navigate in our shop. So once you go in, this app will tell you exactly where to find the Jimmy Choo shoes, the pair of gift that you want in Tiffany. I think it's great for men who hate shopping and they can never find what they want. So I think this is perfect for them because they go straight in, know what they want to buy and get out. So one example. Second example is this brand called Picky. It's also from the US. Now Picky is an online social kind of catalog. What it does is that it uses your social data. So once you sign in, they'll pick up all your friends and people that you follow, the brands that they like. What it does, it shows you what your friends are buying, for example, your idols like Justin Bieber, if that's one, what Justin Bieber is buying, and then you can shop based on what your friends are seeing. A clever way of using social data. Okay, this is my personal favorite. This is from Hartleys. So Hartleys asked themselves, so we're selling diapers and it's about pee. So can we use pee data? Is pee a valuable data that we can use? And they came up with this something very interesting.
Para a mamãe sempre que eu faço xixi. Através de uma app, ela sabe se está na hora de me trocar, quantas fraldas eu já usei e quantas eu vou precisar nos próximos dias, que podem ser compradas e recebidas em casa com um simples toque de botão. Hub Pee monitora, organiza e compra online para a maternidade das mamães e dos papais.
I thought that was a genius. So it could tell you how often your baby pees, how much it pees, and then it also said time to replenish. How clever is that? It didn't cost that much, by the way. It was just a great idea, translated into a mobile application. And that sort of technology existed already, so the sensor for detecting wetness already exists, so they didn't have to recreate anything. Okay, the next trend we're going to talk about, customization. Everybody wants something that's made for them, authentic. I want this only for me. And it's because today's consumers are demanding, right? They're looking to express their personality. How does this product tell the world about me? They want to have it bespoke. It must be tailored. So here are some interesting examples. Some of them are not digital, by the way. This one is from Sephora. I think the ladies in the room would know Sephora in Shanghai. When they opened their flagship store in Shanghai, they decided that can we customize perfume for each and every lady? So you go to this interactive station, you fill up a questionnaire about yourself, your likes, they ask you about memories, or they said, scenarios. For example, you're going on a date tomorrow, how would you want your date to perceive you? And then after that, when you put in your details, these atomizers then kind of squirts out the right sort of scent for you. And then you can bottle it. So it's kind of perfume for you. After that, you can post it to, in China it's Weibo, post it on social networks, and that's how it's amplified. So it's one easy way. Now everything is there. I mean, all they had to do was bring in the atomizers, put a simple iPad application, and it was kind of perfume for you, perfume for one. Next example is from India, so Axis Bank. Axis Bank decided that young people nowadays are fickle, they don't know what they want, and they want different things all the time. So they had a range of cards that allow their customers to choose what sort of rewards they want. If you want a combination of movies plus restaurants, you can get that, or you can do free air miles or cashback benefits. Because I think it's in the finance industry, it might be the only card that allows you to tailor your rewards. Right now, you probably have set. You either take air miles or you take this one. What they're doing is to allow that customization. The next example, okay, I'm not going to try and even attempt to pronounce that brand name there, but this is from Russia. So in Russia, a cosmetics chain decided that they would actually install facial expression readers. So as you are checking out, they will actually read your expression. So if you're depressed or you broke up, they would, the customer service will try and empathize with you and maybe even give you a discount. realized that, oh, maybe most of the time you come here and buy presents. So next time they'll offer you something maybe specially gift wrapped. That's how data is used. The third one actually going on to social and mobile. I think we've been talking a lot about that. Some examples. There's some people here who've been asking, how do I use Facebook or Twitter more effectively? One great example which I've seen and I love is from Oreos. I'm sure everybody's familiar with Oreos. Oreos is 100 years old this year, a very old cookie. And they said, what can we do? I'm so old. How do we engage people on social media? So this is what they did.
Oreo recently celebrated a big birthday. Really big. Turning 100 can mean just one thing. You're old. Really old. Unless you give it a twist. The Oreo Daily Twist. A simple idea to make this old brand a vital part of pop culture, the digital world, and everyday conversation, all at once. 100 pieces of content created in 100 days. In honor of the 100th birthday. 100% responsive. Here's how it worked. Every morning we searched for what people were talking about. Once concepts were developed, there was a full production team waiting to execute. By 6 p.m., we pushed the day's twist out to Oreo's 30 million Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter followers and archived it on Oreo's online hub. How do we kick it off? Well, maybe you heard about that. Oreos are gay.
Oreo posted this on their Facebook page. Their old wingnuts have to stop saying they're going to boycott Oreos because they made a gay cookie.
But we didn't stop there. And neither did the fans. In just 100 days, we turned an old cookie into an icon. Oreo didn't just reflect the news, it became the news. And we made 100 years old look pretty young.
I think in terms of sales, it shot through the roof as well in this 100 days. For me, the learning is not to go and do a 100 days thing because, as a small business, it might be a bit scary. But if you take the principles behind that, right, which is how do I inject what people are talking about into my brand, and then reflect that with either with a twist of humor or some sort of different angle. That's one way of looking at it. The other one is mobile. So in Guatemala, there's this shop that's called Meat Pack. It's actually for young kids. They sell a series of curated shoes from Adidas to Nike and Puma. They're quite young. They opened only 3 years ago and quickly gathered a cult because of the things that they were selling. But they were low in promotional budgets, and they did have a lot of marketing dollars as well as resource. So they used mobile in a very different way.
Yeah, the Nike store, there he is, he's getting the message. There's a promotional feedback. And thanks for that. Yeah, we got him.
Meatpack is the trendiest shoe store in Guatemala, a brand known for its edgy, cutting style and a store known for its unique discounts in limited edition kicks including brands like Adidas, Nike and Reebok. An icon for the sneakerhead subculture with over 60,000 fans on their fan page in less than a year. They needed to launch a new promotion to live up to their hardcore fans, an innovative way to earn your discount. We created Hijack, an enhancement for the official Meatpack app used by our customers. Using GPS tracking technology that marks every competitor's store of the brand sold at Meatpack. So every time one of our sneakerheads enters one of the stores, it triggers a special notice with a promotion. Hijack sends an alert to the person's mobile with a discount that starts at 99% and decreases by 1% every second that goes by, making the countdown stop until you reach our store. More than 600 customers were hijacked from the competitors in a week.
Again, it's through a mobile application, doesn't take much to develop. Now, I think we've talked a lot, and one of the normal reactions we always get is, okay, there's so much to do, there's so much to know, where do we start? We have a couple of, so this is, you can find it in the toolkit, which will show you the link, but we always advise that the first thing you have to do is start with understanding your target audience. This is what we call the customer persona. The template is available online, and this actually helps paint a picture of who your customers are. Very detailed stuff from, what is their problem, their needs, what is their online behavior, is she on Facebook more often, or is she more, like my dad doesn't like Facebook, more email type of man, and are they looking for what type of content and functionality needs? If it's a mom, for example, that is shopping online, what sort of needs does she have that you can provide for her? What does she look like, and then some of the key channels. So this starts building your customer print. And then once you have that, we then say, let's go and understand what is the journey, all the way from what is it that will trigger her to think about your brand. And then when she researches, where does she go? When she shops and purchases, does she do it online? Does she walk into a shop? How does she use your product, and does she share? Once you have that mapped out, then you can decide what sort of channels. So if you, for instance, you know that 90% of your people are searching for shoes online, so you have to be on Google. Do you want to try paid search, for example? Or if you know that 80% of your target audience is on Facebook, how do you reach them via Facebook? Same with YouTube, TripAdvisor. So it's just a whole host of platforms. The hardest thing is not to jump into the platforms first. It's all about understanding their journey before you go into that. And then after that, it's always making a plan. I don't think this is rocket science, because it starts with awareness, to consideration, to trial and purchase. And also this template is available online with some examples. Once you do that, and then you stick to the plan. So if I'll give you some final thoughts in terms of kind of a summary for today, I think digital is much more than just a website. It's much more than just a Facebook page. It's an ecosystem where your customers go into different platforms and talk about your brand. And also, don't be overwhelmed. I think it's difficult to know everything, and it's really unnecessary, unless you want to be a guru of the internet, then there's probably a different ambition. But, so what you do is you focus on a few digital channels that you know your customers are on, and then you do it really well. What's really important is that you measure every effort. There's a lot of stuff that you can measure, but you measure the right things that mean the right things for your brand or your business. If you get an impression, what does that mean? If you get a click-through, what does that mean? If somebody registers with you, what does that mean? And finally, don't think about digital in isolation. So a lot of people just have, for example, they'll have staff that just do digital, and then they'll have people who just do, for example, retail. There's a lot of integration. You look at the mobile app where it's about how do we make people, sometimes people walk into your store, decide that they're not ready to buy. So how do you capture them at that point of time? They're probably Facebooking and saying stuff. So where's the integration point? Even with point of sale and call center. Okay. I actually think I'm finishing early. I'll leave you with one final thought. So the future belongs to the few of us who are still willing to get our hands dirty. Thank you very much.